All right, folks. Welcome to the Pieczynski and Kerns Sports Show here on a Wednesday afternoon. Break down some NBA basketball, NFL football, and Ben will go in depth on MLS soccer.
Yep, so to get started, this is the start of our second season. We're excited we're using a new program. We're using Wirecast to broadcast our shows now. So we should have a new interesting features on the show. So we're going to do it a little differently this time. We're going to start by sections and split it off from there. So we're going to have a limited amount of time on each section. So I believe starting off, we're going to go with our topic of the week, and that is going to be the Green Bay Packers' recent 3-game skid after their 6-0 start. So Matt, what do you have for us on this? What is wrong with this Green Bay team?
Well, originally the two games they lost so far on the road when they played at Denver and then at Carolina, I could understand those losses. Those are probably 1 and 2 best defenses in the league. So those losses are understandable. But then back home against Detroit, that's inexcusable. And that loss is inexcusable. Rodgers' numbers were down against the Broncos and the Panthers. You'd expect that, especially on the road. But certainly the way he played last week, there's a little bit of worry. There's a little bit of reason to be worried in Title Town. I mean, the way basically this whole team's playing, but let alone Aaron Rodgers, that's obviously the main vocal point. But I think now, earlier in the year where you didn't see the loss of Jordy Nelson, I think you're starting to slowly see that.
Yeah, definitely you're going to see that with this Packers team. When you look at it, I believe their struggles are a lot on this receiving core. On some sabermetrics or statistics they were doing, they ranked them dead last among 32 teams in average 40-yard dash times of their starting 3 receivers. So when you're the Packers, you're looking at your starting 3 receivers. Who are they? Well, you have Randall Cobb. He's pretty fast. I wouldn't say he's one of the fastest. He's quick. And then after that, who do you really have with the Packers? You have Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is very athletic, but he isn't someone known for his speed. And then you have James Jones, who's aging and is definitely slowing. This stat also took into account the tight end, Richard Rodgers. And get this, I'm going to pull up this number there. Richard Rodgers' top speed against the Lions was 14.54 miles per hour.
Wow.
14.54 miles per hour. And that ranked 46th amongst tight ends. Yeah, the guy's good at catching the ball. They just have too many possession receivers. Guys can't get open. No.
Yeah, really the only speedster on that team is Adams, who actually doesn't have the best of hands. At least this far in the year, he struggled coming off the injury.
Yeah, he has. It's definitely affected the way he's running. But going back again, just really quick to 14.54 miles per hour. Some of the cross-country runners do 11 in races.
Yeah.
And those are long-distance races.
He's
running 3 miles per hour faster than cross-country and distance runners. That's just crazy.
No, yeah, it's unbelievable. I think some of the problem, too, is the offensive line, though. I mean, it's there's questions up front. I'm not sure how many times exactly Rodgers was sacked on Sunday, but there's questions up front, too. And right now, this team has never relied on their defense, but at this point in the year, you need better play in 3 phases of the football team. They're not getting that right now.
But the defense was the one bright spot against Detroit. I mean, look at Detroit. Detroit's not. I wouldn't say Detroit's among the worst teams in the NFL. I'd say they're probably lower middle pack. Despite what the record shows, they've played Seattle tough. They've played many teams tough other than the Chiefs. They got completely blown out the week before. But, this is a Lions team people are kind of sleeping on a little too much. But, once again, for Green Bay, you've had issues 3 straight weeks with all this. They really need Ty Montgomery, who's one of their fastest receivers, to finally come back. I believe Abadris, one of their other fast receivers, got hurt in that game against Detroit. But just slow receivers have been a big contribution to this. No one's really getting open. But granted, look at Rodgers. Rodgers has not had the best of games these past 3 games. I mean, he played really good that second half against Carolina. he made some really incredible throws that game. But this game, he struggled mightily in the first half and really didn't get it going until the fourth quarter, till it was almost too late.
Yeah, give credit to Detroit, their defense. They put together a pretty good game plan. They played a lot of man coverage. Had two safeties in the box, or two safeties playing coverage, and they really didn't have any respect for the Packers' run. They said, we're going to play even coverages and stop Aaron Rodgers, and they really did.
Yeah, and another thing to look at on Rodgers. Rodgers is having shoulder issues, it sounds like, on his right shoulder. So that's something to look at. I know it's the team saying it's just a little bit of beating from getting hit probably too much from that terrible offensive line play, but Rodgers has got to play better. This offensive line's got to get going like it did last year. This receiving core needs Montgomery back. It needs to finally get some speed going. Find some reason. Like, no one was even in the top 50 on top speed last week in the NFL on the Packers. Of all teams, no one.
I think for me, most importantly, get the ground game going. They ran for 47 yards against the Detroit team, who doesn't have a very good front seven. They have Haludi Nada and a couple other guys, but other than that, this isn't a front seven that really stands out to you. So they really should have ran the ball more effectively in this game. I think they ran it 18 times, only for 47 yards, as I mentioned. That's not good enough, especially at home against the mediocre Detroit defense, at best.
Yeah, definitely. This Detroit defense, this was a game that Green Bay should have well taken advantage of. I think one of the bigger plays in that game was definitely that big kickoff return, but Green Bay's just having struggles everywhere on the football field. It is an ugly team to watch right now. They just got to get something going. If they can find a way to pull off a win against Minnesota, they'll be fine. I think they're fine for the playoffs, especially because they got that win over Seattle. Seattle's another team that's been doing really bad lately. But this is just a team, I think when it comes down to it, this is just going to be my conclusion on why they're struggling. They just don't have the supporting cast around their star quarterback. They have a line that should be playing better. Their defense really, they've got a few star players, but they're not solid all the way through. It's just a team that they're being exposed. They're just not as good as everyone really thought they were, especially on that skill position on the offense.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up for them.
Yep. So hopefully Green Bay can turn that losing streak around this week. We're going to have to move on. I believe I'm going to go into MLS coverage next. So, all right, Matt, just sit tight for this one. I'll cover it.